Hello and welcome to Phoenix Cinema Podcast. I am Chris Austin, and today, unfortunately, we have no Luke Parker, but we have a Stefan Krieger, composer and editor of the podcast. Welcome back, Steph.
Thank you for having me back.
And we have a Will Charlton, friend of mine, actor and wonderful writer, a magnificent playwright in his own right. Will, welcome to the podcast, my friend.
Hello, thanks very much for having me. Feels nice.
Absolutely. It's nice to have you here for the first time. I'm excited about this. Of course, this is a podcast where we discuss the program of one of the oldest picture houses in London, Phoenix Cinema, and today we are discussing Joseph Kosinski's new film, F1. And usually at this point, Luke will do a little plot synopsis, but as Luke isn't here, I'll do the one that's on IMDb, which is so short and sweet these days. I'm loving these IMDb little plot synopses. All it says is, a Formula One driver comes out of retirement to mentor and team up with a younger driver.
Okay.
Simple. As simple as you can be. So, all right. F1. Why don't we talk about it? Will, actually, Luke. Of course, I'm so used to saying going straight to Luke. Will, give us your thoughts on F1, sir. I know you watched it the other day.
I did, yeah. I had just some spare time, so I watched it in a cinema screening almost entirely to myself, which was fantastic.
Lovely.
Yeah. I mean, there was one couple, I think there was like a pair of 13-year-olds on a date, and I was like, I'm not sitting near them. But the film itself was I thought it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. For me, it was like a throwback to a summer blockbuster that we've just not had for years, because it's all franchises and sequels, right? It's, you know, whatever Marvel's coming up next or whatever hybrid dinosaur the Jurassic World wants to throw out. So it's just nice to have an original story with, you know, just a wonderful ensemble cast. And well, everyone in the production team, obviously Hans Zimmer with the music, Bruckheimer coming in to produce it, and then you've just got this amazing cast with legends like Brad Pitt and the new sort of rising talents of Damson Idris and Callie Cook. I just thought it was an exciting story and film. And I'm not the biggest F1 fan, so I don't know an awful lot about the sport, but for a passing armchair F1 fan, I thought it was a great ride.
Lovely. Well, I've got to say, I mean, I pretty much agree with everything that you said there, right, Steph? What are your I mean, me and Steph watched it together. So we were able to immediately sort of expound our thoughts and opinions with each other afterwards. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that, Steph?
Yeah, I think I pretty much agree as well. Beforehand, I wanted to watch this. I wanted to have a great experience watching this. So that's why we went to watch it in the IMAX in Waterloo, which is the biggest screen
Whoopsie.
in the UK. And it was great. It was because watching Top Gun Maverick, his previous film, you kind of know what you're going to get in terms of sound quality and just the quality of the film in general. So I think it was great, really enjoyable. I think it's similar to the experience I felt with Top Gun Maverick, which was the way he filmed the planes, specifically the fighter jets, in that movie was really fantastic and gave me, you know, I start to learn things about them that I didn't know before. And it's the same thing with F1. I'm not really a huge F1 fan, but I became more, I think I liked it a bit more after the movie, and I started actually looking into F1 a bit more after I had seen it. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're all pretty much in the same boat there then. Yeah. I mean, I don't watch Formula One at all. I don't really understand the ins and outs of it. But yeah, it doesn't matter really with a film like this because it's so entertaining, it's so involving. You get it as you watch it. You sort of understand like the pit stops, for instance, and how vital they are, and how what a time crunch you're in, and the amount of suspense that could be generated just from that sort of maneuver alone. Um, and exactly what you were saying as well, Will. This is such a throwback to a certain type of 80s and 90s filmmaking. It's not doing anything groundbreaking or new, but it hits the beats so perfectly well, and it proves to still be effective. Yeah. So yeah, I really enjoyed it as well, and yeah, everything that you were saying. I mean, Will, did you watch Top Gun Maverick?
I've not seen that. I haven't seen it.
Ooh, dude. Yeah, we'd recommend it because it feels almost like a relative, like a distant cousin to this film. It's the same director. You got Zimmer on the score, and it kind of feels like a natural evolution to go from fighter jets to Formula One cars. And dude, yeah, I personally, I think Top Gun Maverick is better. There's something about it that takes it up an extra level, but yeah, very, very similar. Oh, dude, I highly recommend that. Recommend that. And yeah, to what you were saying, the cast is great. I mean, Will, you're a Brad Pitt enthusiast, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, Brad Pitt is. I don't know if it's a secret, but yeah, Brad Pitt's my favorite actor. Yeah.
Right. Yes, that's it. How did he fare for you in this?
I think he's just. I mean, maybe I'm biased, but I just think he's so charismatic, and in everything you watch him in, he makes the audience warm to him almost immediately. Like, I was smiling as soon as he wakes up in that trailer, right at the start of the film. I just see him, and he's got that cheeky smile, a real playfulness. There's nothing I've seen him in that I just doesn't get a warmth out of me. I just think he's amazing. I think he is one of those. I think a lot of people talk about, obviously, DiCaprio from sort of our generation, and then we've got Pacino and De Niro going way back to Marlon Brando. I seriously think Brad Pitt is in the echelons of Hollywood superstars. Truly,
I agree. Yeah, he's a movie star.
Yeah.
He's a movie star, and we have so little of that these days because the film industry is just changing, And yeah, I agree. Listen, I mean, I'm not as big of a Pitt fan as you are, but I like him. How can you not? Right, like you said. And in this movie, Pitt's doing Pitt, but he doesn't really have to do anything else. He's a movie star, and it's a movie star performance. And I feel like this director, Kosinski, he's proving really adept at making movie star vehicles, for lack of a better word. He knows how to structure a movie around an old-fashioned movie star. There are times where I feel like, and maybe this is just true of Brad Pitt in general, I don't know if he has much depth as an actor or much range. Sometimes I feel like he's controversial thing to say. I don't know. I feel like sometimes he has the capacity to phone it in, but like you said, he's so naturally charismatic that even if he is phoning it in, he can get away with that.
I mean,
right?
Look, I don't think that patois scene in Meet Joe Black could be given to any other white actor today, and people not have some minor complaints about it.
No be a sister, no devil, no dopey. Everything gonna be irie. Oh, be a right. Will be evil, I not evil, oh man.
What a classic! Yeah. But yeah, no, I totally agree with you. It feels like the film was either written for him or completely with like him in mind. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's so perfectly structured for Pitt. Yeah. What did you think about him, Steph?
Yeah, I think I'm not the biggest fan of Pitt. I like him in a lot of movies, and then I don't like him in a lot of movies. I think he's not I don't think he's a great actor. I don't think he's ever been a great actor. But right in the heart. Yeah, and I think he does some roles really well. And I think we've just kind of gotten used to Pitt's acting now, which is just him being Pitt. And I think that's what he does in this film, which is fine. It doesn't bother me. I don't think it's a bad performance. I think it's just okay. I think it's good. He does the job. But there's a particular scene, like an emotional scene, where you just want to get a bit more into the character, a bit deeper into the emotion, and I don't think he can do that. So that's where when it's scenes like that, I'm seeing Brad Pitt. When it's everything else, I'm like, this is the character he's playing. But yeah, if it's not anything, if it's not really I say heavy lifting, it's him during the entire film. But if you give him like a really emotional scene, I feel like I'm starting to see Pitt more than I am the character.
Yeah, I know exactly. I know exactly which scene you're referencing too. It's that one moment on the balcony of the hotel, right, when he's with the love interest of the movie, and he's talking about his past or the reason he races and what he's looking for and everything like that. Yeah, and it feels like, I mean, it's a lovely scene. It's well written. He's got some lovely dialogue, but it doesn't quite feel as if Kate McKenna's the character's name he's with, played by Kerry Condon, who's wonderful in it. Yeah, and it feels like he's not quite selling the emotional. Yeah,
No,
it's just
there's a barrier there.
He's got that smirk, he's got that wonderful shit-eating little grin to him, or he's got that squint in his eye, and he looks like he's half laughing. He's got that one. It's just this amazing look that he actually was like perfectly nailed to perfection in Inglourious Bastards. The constant squint and the eyebrow raised. But I know what you mean. Yeah. And as for the rest of the cast, what do we think about everyone else as well? Because we don't have to talk about everyone, but I really felt like it was such an amazing group of actors here who really, Damson Idris, I don't know too much about him. I didn't watch his series. Is it Snowfall? But I mean, he is really, when I say up and coming, I mean, he can nail an American accent perfectly. Here he's obviously playing British, but I mean, what an amazing role for a young actor, right?
I haven't seen a lot of him recently. I mean, I think this has probably been, I can't remember. I don't think I've seen him in like an entire film, but this is the first thing I've seen him in as an entire film. But having seen him in this, I think after as well, I've just kind of gone and watched clips of him in Snowfall, and because it's kind of popping up on my YouTube. And yeah, he's a great actor. He looks very promising, and I think like you said, he nails an American accent. And I'm excited to see what else he does film wise. I mean, I haven't really got into his TV discography, but I'd like to. I'm interested to see what he does.
Yeah, he showed up in that TV series Swarm, which was on Prime, which I think was a Donald Glover show. I wasn't big on the show, but he's in like one episode playing an American character, and it's like, I mean, he just looks, he's almost like a young Idris Elba. Funny that his name's also Idris as well. Are they related? But yeah, he's great. And Javier Bardem is fucking fantastic. I mean, it's a supporting role. He comes in, he nails it. He gets some of the best lines in the whole thing. And yeah, I mean, everybody across the board. Tobias Menzies as well is also pretty good. Great role for him. I'll always remember this story with Tobias. Do you remember this, Will? So was it? Oh no, it wasn't. We hadn't met each other yet, mate. But this was when I was working on the West End, and I was at the Playhouse. And it was red carpet night for, I don't know, 1984 or something. And I'm on the doors and, I'm just waiting for everyone to show up, check tickets. And Tobias Menzies gets out of a car, and he gets out of the car. He looks right at me, gives me this massive smile and waves at me. And it's almost like he recognized me, like he knew me from somewhere. And I was like, oh, hey, and I waved back. And then he walked right past me and he was waving at another actor who was already in the building. So, yeah, I'll always fucking remember that whenever I see his face.
The guy...
Yeah, sorry, go on, Stefan.
No, go ahead.
I hope you get to tell him that story one day.
I hope so.
I hope that there's just an unnecessary rivalry between you and Tobias Menzies now because of this. Like, God, I hate that guy.
Right. I will always hold it with me. Yeah. Oh, how embarrassing! I
think that's a story you never pull up if you ever meet him. You just pretend it never happened.
No, I will. I will absolutely tell him that. I will absolutely tell him. What do we think about Zimmer's music? Why don't you start, Steph?
Okay. Fun fact, Will, I didn't know it was Zimmer until it it popped up right in front of my eyes in the screening, because Chris leant over and you said something like Zimmer's, like, no Zimmer yet, or Zimmer music hasn't played yet, because it was a song they used, not score. And I went, and I don't think I really tuned into what you said, and I was like, and because I was late, I sprinted in because my bloody train got stopped it stopped way earlier than Waterloo, so I had to get an Uber and then run down. And
you just made it.
Luckily, at work, because I work in the cinema, I watched that intro quite a few times, so I knew what was going to happen. Didn't miss anything. But when I got in, I was kind of disorientated, and I was still sweating. My jacket was on, and I wasn't focusing. But I looked at the thing and went, "Oh my God, Zimmer did the score! I didn't even realize. Like, I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't listened to it. I didn't know he was doing it." And then during the film, I'm listening to it and I'm going, "Yeah, you know what? This is very Zimmer." Especially the climax, of course, which he does so well in every film. The climax, it's Zimmer. One thing I didn't expect was at work again, because I'm cleaning the screens at work, so the credits are playing and I'm hearing the music, and it was very like arcadey. I don't know if you've heard the score for it, but it's like the theme is like da 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 da. Really, almost as if you're playing an arcade F1 game. And I was listening to that, and in my head, I'm cleaning the screen, I'm not really paying attention. I said to myself, like, the score doesn't sound very astonishing. And then just kind of went about my business. Listening to it again properly, he's obviously done something so different to his normal orchestral stuff. He's trying to make it more exciting, or maybe I say arcadey, maybe it is actually related to arcade games, that all the music that you'd hear in those arcade games, like the car ones you used to play. But it does have his Zimmerness to it. When he adds like his French horns in, those typical notes, two notes that you hear Zimmer in most of his scores. But I think he does a really good job. I don't think it's the greatest score I've ever heard by him, but I think in the movie, it's definitely something I noticed in during scenes, and something that helped guide the film along the way, which is obviously his job. So I think he did great. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you notice the score, Will?
Yeah, absolutely. I was listening out for it, especially when it gets to those sort of montage training scenes when Josh Pierce, played by Damson Idris, is on the treadmill. That's the bit where I really sort of lock in and want to listen to Zimmer at his finest. But I mean, bow down to Stefan's knowledge. He knows far more about music generally than I do. But I would agree entirely that it's not. There's not a moment that I go, well, this is an instant classic. But it's still thoroughly enjoyable. I think for me, I just wanted more of it. You know, there would be occasional times where like the soundtrack would kick in. So you've got, I don't know, Ed Sheeran coming on or whatever.
Right.
Like, just go away. I just want to listen to that.
Yeah.
But it was interesting before. I don't know if you guys got the trailer for it before you watched the film, but the new Tron film is coming out at some point. And it had there were elements of that in Zimmer's score that it could be that sort of electric. I think it was Daft Punk who did the first sort of new Tron film with Jared Leto.
That's right.
They're not doing it
Brilliant
this time
score.
now. And there was elements of that with this film, and I was like, this is great because it's just leading into that modern thrill ride that the film wanted to be, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Joseph Kosinski directed the other Tron movie.
Oh, the one with Jared Leto.
Yeah, with the first one, whatever, but not this one, not the sequel. Yeah, and I just realized that as you were saying it. Yeah, I totally agree. His score isn't fantastic in isolation. It's good, don't get me wrong, but kind of like with Interstellar, it's just perfect to picture. You know, and it truly feels like Zimmer was the only one who could do this. You know, it's a Jerry Bruckheimer production. It's Kosinski directing. It's a throwback movie to the type of movie that was Days of Thunder. You know, and so and in the IMAX, I mean, you hear it. You know, you hear Zimmer's score, and it sounds so good. You know, my one complaint as well is if you listen to the score on Spotify, the levels sound low. It really feels like it's mixed and mastered low. Right. Then you put on another album and you're like, oof, I mean, I have to turn this down because if I listen to this full volume, this is the kind of score that needs full maximum sort of levels on it. And unfortunately, you're having to turn this up to the max to get that, you know, sort of punch to it, which I think is a misstep, which may not be Zimmer's fault. But the way it's been released is a bit strange. There are times, too, where the score sounds very like Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, kind of something from Challengers. You know, there were moments where you could just put that in a scene in Challengers, you know, and it would fit. But no, it's good. It's good. I actually came back from Edinburgh just the other day and I decided to have my trip back to London Stansted be the F1 score. Do you know that F1 score took me from takeoff to landing? The last track was the landing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fucking perfect. Apparently, Kosinski's considering a sequel to this movie. Did you hear about this?
I have heard this.
Yeah. As a Days of Thunder crossover movie. So bringing back Tom Cruise to star with Brad Pitt. And that to me makes so much sense because, as I said, just doing F1 feels like a progression from Top Gun Maverick, swapping fighter jets for racing cars. The original Top Gun was a Tony Scott movie. So doing this Days of Thunder sequel, another Tony Scott original like Top Gun, I think it feels like, I think that feels like a really interesting idea. And I would be there to watch Cruise and Pitt together in a movie. Right?
Have they ever done a film before together? No?
Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah. All right.
And
I don't remember that. Is that any good, Will?
Oh, yeah. It's great. I think there's like a series, like they've, you know, as they do now with everything, there's a new reboot series of it somewhere. Don't know if it's on Hulu or, but it's great. I think it's is it Kirsten Dunst as well?
Shit,
It's like it's an early 90s film. It's fantastic. I've not watched it for years. I watched it far too young.
Same.
Probably about the same age that Kirsten Dunst was when she was ruined by a vampire. But,
Right.
I need to watch it again because I remember thinking, man, this is great. This was like one of those 90s films growing up that I watched in the 2000s. I was like, this is what makes you want to be an actor because it's just got stars in it, and it's there was just the films were just I've got to feel like an old person now, but the films were just different back then.
Just different.
They were just
so different, which is why I appreciate a movie like this, which is, like we said, is a throwback movie. We just kind of don't get this anymore. And I'll say as well, going back to Zimmer, his score for Top Gun Maverick is honestly, I mean, that was credited to Balfe, Lorne Balfe, Hans Zimmer, Harold Faltermeyer, and Lady Gaga, and it hits so much harder than this one. I mean, there's no track like The Man, the Legend, Touchdown from Top Gun Maverick. Movie is honestly one of the best pieces of cinematic music of the last 7 years or so. Like, not since Justin Hurwitz's First Man score have I heard such a game changer of a track. It's timeless.
I feel like,
in fact,
sorry, just to quickly interject.
Please.
I feel like that soundtrack for Top Gun Maverick can be placed into F1, but the F1 soundtrack can't be placed into Top Gun Maverick. You know what I mean? Because F1's so tailored to what it is. The F1 soundtrack is so tailored to what it is that it's really hard to take something like as powerful and as emotional as Maverick is into this. You know?
Oh, that's an interesting thought. Oh, I didn't even think about that, really. And I agree, because I feel like F1 is just slightly lesser than. It doesn't, because I think Maverick is just a better film, which punches a bit harder. Yes, that wouldn't quite translate. Yeah. What's funny about that track I just referenced from Top Gun Maverick, The Man, the Legend, Touchdown, we all did a play together, right? And it's probably one of my best experiences on a stage that I've ever had. Will here wrote and directed it and starred in it and wrote a role for myself as well as another role for another actor friend of ours. And Stefan, you did the music for it. It's called The Boys. And you know what's funny, Will? I was listening to that track on the way to our performance. on the train, on the way to Wimbledon, it was The Man, the Legend, Touchdown, and it fucking pumped me up. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, we can get onto our pairings. But yeah, I mean, any final thoughts on this? I just thought overall the filmmaking is fantastic. Every time we're on the track, it is adrenalized, heart-pounding filmmaking, right?
Yeah. Well, I think for much as we say that Brad Pitt's, the star of the film cast-wise, I think the star of the film is the sport itself, right? I think it's not a film where I think everyone's going to go, oh my God, look at Brad Pitt in this film. It's not like, I don't know, some of the other films where I think he's been such a big focus. For me, I was like, oh my God, Brad Pitt's amazing in Inglourious Bastards or Seven or Fight Club, right? Where Fight Club is it's so synonymous with Brad Pitt. I think the great thing they do with this film is they make the sport the center of it. And I don't think anyone really takes any of the limelight away from those incredible scenes where they are on track. And I think that's one of the great things, because I think as a big sports fan, not the biggest F1 fan, but as a sports fan generally, I've not always thought that they mix well, films and sports. I can't remember the last time I saw a great football film, apart from
Right.
Bend It Like Beckham.
Right.
Tennis, I know Challengers is out there, but this is so well endorsed by F1, and it's got everyone apart. I mean, it's just great to see, Verstappen and Christian Horner and Lewis Hamilton in this picture as well. You don't have the cast aren't the stars of it. The sport is, and I think that's I would imagine that's a great thing for F1 fans.
Yeah,
such a great point. Yeah, such a great point. I'm so glad you speak to that. It's very true. It's very true. And with you get someone like Brad Pitt, they could easily take over the movie. You think? I mean, that just the casting alone can overshadow. And somehow that doesn't happen. You're so right. Yeah, that's a great point.
And
it's funny. If there was one thing that I would say I wish the movie had more of, was a bit more humor, a bit more of a sense of humor. It's got one, but I don't think it had enough of it. So those few moments where it is funny, people really laugh. People really had a sense of release. There's this moment because there's this rivalry, right, between Pitt and Damson Idris's character, and him, Idris's character, him and his mom are standing looking at a massive billboard of the two of them. And, the mom's fawning over how handsome Brad Pitt is. And he just says, but look at his stupid face. And we go to a close up of, the Brad Pitt sort of smirk. And it's brilliant. I love that self-deprecating kind of, let's just take the piss out of this, Yeah, I wish we had more of that.
Yeah, I kind of agree with I wish I had seen more of it, but at the same time, I'm glad they didn't take it too far, because then, especially F1 fans are like, what is this, comedy? What am I watching? It's like they're going too far with it. I'm glad that they had a balance of, no, this is like, the sport is serious. It's not just a game. Like, people can get into some serious accidents here. And even when it comes to the moments of them building the car and finding out if the front of the car is too heavy or too light or whatever, it's like really important that they get this right. And the short time they have to get it right before the next race. It really put me in like a position I've never thought about. And even like with Brad Pitt's character having to pull out certain things he can do in the race that aren't great, like slowing down the races but behind him, things that he can do that aren't wild. Like illegal, but that gives him not a great look, but to help his partner out. Small things like that. I didn't know certain rules, you couldn't do this or you couldn't do that, and this is like, if you bend those rules a little bit, you can use them to win, or at least gain a few points or whatever
for your teammates.
Exactly. So it's
absolutely
really fascinating to find those little things, and it's also interesting that in the credits, I noticed at the beginning as well, or the end, that there's some of the drivers actually were named as a producer, so they must have put some money towards it in order for this to do well, and you even have them on red carpet events, talking about the film and how it was to race with Brad Pitt and Damson Idris, because it was happening during the Grand Prix, I think.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, Hamilton himself is a main producer, right? Yeah.
And I don't think, I think if it was a bad film, or if maybe they were, during the film, they were getting it told what it is, if they didn't want to get involved in it and it was a bit silly, they probably wouldn't, no, don't worry, you do your thing. But they're like really trying to push the sport and trying to also raise more awareness of the sport and how great it is, I guess.
Well, and I'm also glad that, you have Lewis Hamilton as a producer and the movie isn't about Lewis Hamilton. I love that. He is, you see him every now and then, but the movie's not about him at all. Like you said, Will, it's about the sport. Yeah. So, really classy, I think. And you're right, Steph, it probably is actually a really good balance as is. In terms of pure entertainment, I'd put this alongside Sinners as one of the best movies of the year. The auditorium was silent and hooked on every moment, especially any time we were on the track. This is true blockbuster filmmaking. Yeah. Cool. All right, so let's go to pairings. I'm curious. Do you have a pairing, Steph?
I do now.
All right, let's hear it.
I was gonna say that my pairing for this, the easy thing to do, gentlemen, would be to do Top Gun Maverick, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna say Rush.
Fuck's sake.
And I knew that'd be yours as well. I'm so glad you went to me first because I would be like, shit.
That was mine. Yeah.
It's Zimmer on the soundtrack. It's a rivalry again between two drivers. They're not on the same team, but it just gave me the same sort of vibe in the film. And mostly, what brings me to this is the fact that Zimmer is attached to both, because Rush is so orchestral. Whereas this is more electronic, and it's two different soundtracks, but both Zimmer, and I really like both of them. I forget who directed Rush. Ron Howard.
Ron Howard, yes.
Yeah. So two different directors as well, but great films. Two great films, and I definitely go back and watch both of these. So.
Yeah, I agree. For everything that you picked it for, I would. That's why I picked Rush. Because you picked Rush, I'll just go instead with Days of Thunder, seeing as that's the film that's being talked about a lot, and as a potential sequel to F1 as well. I haven't seen it, so I have no idea if it's any good or not. But Zimmer again on the score. It's a Tony Scott movie. Just like Top Gun, Joseph Kosinski making a sequel to a Tony Scott movie, it feels like Kosinski's our new Tony Scott, you know what I mean? So maybe this will encourage me to actually watch Days of Thunder, and who knows? I heard it's not very good, but who cares? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the first Top Gun was great.
Top Gun.
It was such an 80s, typical 80s movie, which hits all of its beats and things like that. But you look at Maverick, how they extended that off, and you're like, that's great. So I'm sure they can
so much better. Sure, yeah. Top Gun is iconic, but it's basically an hour and a half long music video. It's just a montage after montage. Yeah. Will, do you have one? You've been thinking of one throughout.
We've been stalling, Will. This is why we keep talking. We're just giving you time to think.
I do have one. I've gone rogue. I've gone really rogue. So I
love it.
Immediately, I'm thinking, even though it's not a film, Senna. The documentary about Ayrton Senna.
Nice.
Because it is actually a great documentary. And I was thinking also Disney Pixar's Cars. But I'm going to go away from driving completely.
Course.
I'm completely leaning into this blockbuster thing, because I do feel like this F1 film is a throwback to blockbusters. And I can't think of any better than perhaps the original blockbuster, Jaws. I think, it's celebrating its 50th year this year. I think this film was supposed to be released in the winter, because I think Steven Spielberg originally wanted it to be around for award season. And then, things happened with the shark and all of that, and it was later pushed back to the summer of 75. And I just think I think it's so refreshing to have a film come out that's not franchised to something bigger, and it's an original story with exciting casts and creatives behind it. I can't remember the last time something came out where people were speaking about it and it wasn't behind a Marvel or a franchise of a video game or something like that.
Probably Sinners.
So I think for me, it immediately did feel like a throwback to the blockbuster. And I think, oh man, if you could have an afternoon where you could have a double bill and you can go and watch F1 and then Jaws and then go back to that golden age of summer blockbuster, you're going to have a great time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Throw in Rush, throw in Days of Thunder, and you've got one hell of an evening ahead of you, I think. I love that. I think that's a great pairing. Yeah. Thanks for that, Will. Lovely. Well, I guess that's all from us today, folks. Stefan and Will, thank you so much for joining me today. Pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
And Yeah, Will, please, I hope you come back again soon. Let's talk more
Anytime.
movies, my friend.
Yeah, let's do it. Sounds great. Thank you.
Excellent. All right, folks. Well, our music and editing is by
me, Stefan Krieger. You can find my music at stefan-krieger.com, where I have my scores, my sound design stuff, and some of my pop music. So, yes, there you go. Thanks, guys. Love you all.
He's
Love
prepared
you
today, you see. Yeah. Excellent. Well, like us, share us, review us, subscribe to us if you like what you're hearing, and then join us next time to discuss whatever the Phoenix Cinema may be showing next. Until then, bye for now, and please drive safe.